Hello and welcome to Argentina, the venue for round 2 of MotoGP in 2023. And that means one thing, it's time to get your predictions in for MotoGP Guru once again. What a start for me and Matt Burt here joining me last time out in Porto. We're already 10 points clear of the supposed head guru, Nick Harris. Not a strong start for him, he's on the comeback trail already. We're going to talk about our predictions for this weekend and what we can expect in just a second. But before that, let's talk about what we saw 1 week ago in Portimao. Bertie, there's some big takeaways that these guys at home are going to have to listen closely to if they want to be in a chance of winning that Ducati Panigale V4S. And talking of a Ducati, number one, I think there's only one place and one man to start.
All about this team and this rider, wasn't it, Jack? An amazing start to 2023 for Pecco Bagnaia and the factory Ducati team. Portugal, all about perfect Pecco and Ducati dominance again. Was it a double win in the sprint and the main Grand Prix? Didn't put a foot wrong all weekend. Looked like in both races he had another gear if he needed it. Dream start. That's why he's wearing that number 1 plate in 2023. Ducati 1 and 2 in the sprint, 4 of the top 5 in the main race on Sunday. They're going to take some shifting off the top of that pile this year, aren't they, Jack?
Absolutely. I was laughed at in Portimao when I said that Pecco is going to do the clean sweep of pole position, sprint win, Grand Prix win. But who's laughing now? Yeah, I got pole wrong. He was second. It took some Marc Marquez brilliance to take that pole position, but 50 points in the back pocket. I'll take that quite happily. I've not gone for the double this weekend, though. Spoiler alert.
2 out of 3 is not a bad way to start the year.
That.
Break yourself in gently.
Exactly. I'll take that. Slow and steady progression towards that Panigale.
Consistency is the key to title wins, Jack.
Always helps. Ducati was to be expected, I think, from what we saw from pre-season, but there are a couple of things that took us by surprise in Portimao. What's your second takeaway?
My second take is, Jack, that the factory Aprilia team, Aprilia in general, are here to stay, aren't they, as serious title contenders. A great weekend all round for the factory team. Maverick Vinales had the pace to win the sprint, a bit unlucky with the Marini Bastianini incident, and then how good was he on Sunday? Second, pushing Pecco Bagnaia all the way to the checkered flag. That's not an easy task, is it, in Monday MotoGP? Miguel Oliveira, poor old Miguel, how many ladders did he walk under in Portugal? He could have easily had a podium in the sprint and the main Grand Prix. And Aleix Espargaro, not the results he wanted, but he was the fastest man, the fastest lap of Sunday's Grand Prix. We know what Aleix and Aprilia did here in Argentina 1 year ago. So clear evidence on Sunday and Saturday in Portugal. Aprilia are here to stay as big players in MotoGP.
Absolutely, and as a result of that, big plays in MotoGP Guru, Aprilia in Argentina, as I'm sure you'll remember from last year, a match made in heaven. So, again, another spoiler. I think that my predictions are going to have a little flavour of Aprilia.
Noir-y touch about them, yeah.
Just a small dash here or there. I think it's got to be done. Finally, your third big takeaway, a difficult one this.
Yeah, it was. I was very torn, actually, Jack. I mean, Jack Miller and KTM, what a sensational start to their new collaboration. Jack was fastest on Friday, massive boost pre-weekend. He led the sprint, which we all got us on the edge of our seats. We were loving Jack, getting the airtime over turn 9. And he was strong for the podium, wasn't he, on Sunday as well. Also, had to give mention to Alex Marquez. What a debut for him on the Ducati. Close the podium in Sunday's race. But I'm going to have to say, sorry, Fabio Quartararo and Yamaha fans, my third take of the opening Grand Prix was their struggles. Fabio, poor in qualifying. The bike we know it's hard to overtake on. I think the worrying signs for me and Fabio there. Portimao is a track where normally he's so good. He's dominated races there previously, so could be a long year for the former world champion. Fabio and Aprilia fans and Yamaha fans, I really hope I'm wrong, but that was a tough way to kick off 2023.
Really tough, really tough. Made worse, I think I rubbed salt in the wounds by saying I thought he was going to be on the podium in the Grand Prix.
Talk about the first commentator's curses of the weekend. Fabio is praying that you've not picked him this week, Jack. Please say you haven't.
I haven't, no. I mean, of
That's
course.
good news, Fabio.
Given what we saw in Portimao, I've had to look elsewhere. Sorry, Fabio. If you can improve this weekend, you may well make it come Austin, but for Argentina, I've had to sort of keep Yamaha to one side for the moment. So that's our predictions, which are coming up shortly, but I'm sure you're wondering at home, our head guru, he's under the cosh, he's under pressure already, 10 points behind. Nick, this is a big weekend for you, mate. You can't allow us to get even further ahead. So what have you got in store? What are your predictions for here in Argentina? Over to you, mate.
Well, Jack and Bertie, I bet you are rubbing your hands. 10-point lead, over the old MotoGP guru. I bet you think he's past it. Well, may I tell you, by the time you've had these predictions from Argentina, by the time the race is over, the situation would have changed dramatically. So here we go. Pole position, Jorge Martin. Yeah, second last year from second place on the grid. I thought he rode brilliantly in Portugal. I had a few bangs like a lot of people, but he really is the man in form. He's brilliant in qualifying. What about the sprint race? What a sprint race in Portugal. I loved every minute of it. Wow. What's going to happen? Well, I'm going for Maverick Vinales. Thought he was brilliant in Portugal on the Aprilia. Race winner in Argentina back in 2017. I was even commentating then. That was when he was riding the Yamaha. But I think he's right back to his best, both mentally, physically, and never doubted his riding ability. He loves the Aprilia. So Jorge Martin in second place, but it's going to be a rare old battle because you can't leave him out of your predictions. Pecco Bagnaia, brilliant, absolutely brilliant in Portugal. Came away with 37 points. He looked like the true world champion he is. And I reckon it'd be a great sprint race. What about the big race on Sunday? Well, I'm not going to go further than Pecco Bagnaia because I need some points. I don't want those two youngsters to get right out in front. But I'm going to go for Pecco Bagnaia because I thought he was supreme, especially in the main race in Portugal. But I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be tough. And I think the two people chasing him will be the Aprilias. Maverick Vinales, I've got in second place. As I say, race winner in 2017, but a lot's happened to him since then. But he looks in the top form. And in third place, well, you only got to go back to last year. Aleix Espargaro, his first Grand Prix win, Aprilia's first MotoGP win. He looked right back to his awesome best. But lads, that's you two. That's Bertie and Jack. I was just warming up in Portugal. I was just flexing my muscles. I'm back at it now. So by the time Argentina ends, you won't have a leader. By the time we reach America, I will be leading the way.
Fighting talk from Nick Harris. It's already getting personal and we're already at round 2. What do you think of those predictions, Matt? I think he's starting to feel the pressure.
Step aside, old timer. You've had your day in the sunshine. It's time for the wisdom of the youth to take over. Fighting talk, Jack, but let's see if he can put his money where his mouth is this weekend.
I know, he says he's flexing his muscles, but...
Muscles?
I know, what muscles?
I've got more muscles than him. I'm as skinny as anything.
Some brave choices in there. He's gone for one Pecco Bagnaia victory. He's going to be third in the sprint, really, from what we saw in Portimao. Well, let's wait and see on that one. So, you've heard from Nick. Now it's time to hear my predictions. Listen up closely, because as we said, Nick already 10 points back. He's starting to feel the pressure, and that's why he's taken some gambles, which I don't think are going to pay off. This is exactly what's going to happen in Argentina. Pole position. Do agree with you, Nick, on this one. Jorge Martin, despite picking up a slight injury in that altercation with Marc Marquez, we know how good he is over one lap. Arguably the best man in the world over one lap. I think it's going to be pole for him on Saturday morning. When it comes to the sprint, this is where it gets interesting. I think it's going to be Jorge Martin. Only lost out on the last lap in Portimao, but this time he's going to hold on to take victory ahead of Pecco Bagnaia with my surprise pick, Marco Bezzecchi, there in third spot. When it comes to the Grand Prix, I said there was going to be a little flavour of Aprilia in there. It's coming courtesy of Maverick Vinales. History for Top Gun as he becomes the first man in MotoGP history to win with 3 different manufacturers, beating the world champion Pecco Bagnaia. Will have to settle for 2 second places this weekend. And my surprise pick, we mentioned KTM. Arguably, they've found something a little bit special. We come to a circuit with not much grip, where Brad Binder was pretty good last year. We know how he is Mr. Sunday of MotoGP. I'm going for Brad Binder to get KTM's first podium of the year on Sunday afternoon. What do you make of that, Bertie? I think 7 out of 7 there. Hard to argue against them.
There is some proper rolling of the dice in there, mate. I like it. I like it. A couple of left field choices, but ladies and gentlemen, folks watching at home, listen up now, because this is your winning formula for the Argentinian Grand Prix. I'm not going to deny Jack here. I think Jorge Martin will be our poleman here in Termas. 3 poles to end last season, and apart from a bit of Marc Marquez magic in Q2 last weekend in Portimao, Jorge Martin would have been on pole. So I'm going for Jorge pole position for the Saturday sprint. I can't see beyond Pecco Bagnaia again. I think he's just on a different level, top of his game right now. So Pecco to win the sprint ahead of Aleix Espargaro. We know that Aleix loves Argentina, winner here last year, historically for Aprilia. He was on pole as well. And I'm going to go for Jorge Martin to hang on in there despite that broken toe on his right foot. Saw Jorge in the airport yesterday. He is pumped and ready to make amends for last weekend. So my sprint podium, Bagnaia, Aleix and Jorge Martin. And now for the big one on Sunday, I'm going to go 4 out of 4 for Pecco, folks. Pecco's going to make the clean sweep in the first 2 races. He'll win the Grand Prix ahead of the 2 Aprilias. Maverick Vinales will be right in there, just as he was in Portimao last weekend. I can see it being 2 Aprilias on the podium, Maverick second, Aleix Espargaro third. But I think it's going to be another case of impeccable again this weekend.
What a snooze fest. How long did it take you to come up with Pecco
We'll
Bagnaia
see
winning
who's talking
both
about
races?
snooze fest, mate, on the 26th of November in Valencia, when old Bertie boy here is walking off with the keys to a nice new shiny Ducati Panigale.
You had 12 hours on the flight over here to come up with something interesting, and you've gone for Bagnaia to win the sprint and the Grand Prix.
Well, over a couple of cold ones on a Sunday night in Buenos Aires, we'll find out. We'll see who was the man on the money. I'm pretty confident, don't you worry.
I like that insider info, though. You don't get that anywhere else. Bertie's spotting Martin in the airport terminal, and his first thing that he went to was not to help his commentary or to help anything else. It was, I need to know, are you fit for my guru predictions?
Well, I just get this feeling about Pecco Bagnaia as well, the number 1, because he was even sitting in seat 1A on the plane yesterday, so I can't see. Everything in Pecco's life right now is perfect and connected with that numero uno. You saw it from Davide Tardozzi last weekend. Pecco, the man to beat this weekend.
Well, there we go. You've heard Nick's predictions, my predictions, and Bertie's. Plenty to go at there. Your 3 gurus telling you which way to go for the Argentinian Grand Prix. And a little bit of news, or a little bit of a teaser, just to leave you with as well. Myself and Bertie won't be with you ahead of the America's Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time. Nick Harris, our head guru, will of course be with you. And he's got a very special guest. You could say he is 5 times better than me and Bertie put together. I'll let you try and guess who his special guest will be. If you've got an idea, then put his name in the comments below. And if you guess it right, then one of you could be winning some free merchandise. So there you go. Get your guesses. Who is that special guest going to be ahead of the America's Grand Prix? That's coming up your way in 2 weeks' time. But all eyes are, of course, on the Argentinian Grand Prix. Bertie's gone for a Pecco double. I think it's going to be Vinales history here in Argentina. What do you think? MotoGPGuru.com. Get your predictions in now and enjoy the race this weekend here in Argentina. Thanks for joining us.